Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Marco Nuyen and I'm a trainer at Microsoft. This video is part of a series of videos about the role of a Microsoft Cybersecurity architect. In this video I want to explain more about the Cloud Adoption Framework and security aspects of it. The content of this video is mostly aligned with the area of attention, security best practice and priorities from a certification perspective. Our main question for this video is how we secure ourselves while adopting cloud. Starting, extending, growing into cloud solutions. For new, what guidelines can we use? For existing, what can we do to improve? But first a question for you. What is it? What is the Cloud Adoption Framework? Is it the certification program that validates the skills and knowledge of cloud professionals? Is it a cloud service provider that offers a range of cloud solutions? Or is it a methodology that guides organizations through the process of migrating applications and data to the cloud? Answer C is the most applicable. But what about security aspects? Let's look at the learning objectives. There are three main aspects to shed light on in this video. And they are: what is the Cloud Adoption Framework? What is Cloud Adoption Framework Secure, CAF Secure, and what are CAF landing zones? The Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure is a full lifecycle framework that enables cloud architects, IT professionals, and business decision makers to achieve their cloud adoption goals. It provides the best practices, documentation, and tools that help you to create and implement your business and technology strategies for the cloud. Essentially, it is everything we have learned about cloud deployments since we and our customers started with that, and it is tailored specifically towards Azure. Fundamental guidance, best practices, and lessons learned are projected on deploying into Azure. In general, if you follow the guidance and advisories from the Cloud Adoption Framework, you're more likely to be successful in your cloud deployment. You can easily access the information on the Cloud Adoption Framework through a short link. I've listed it here on the slide, aka.ms/CAF, Charlie Alpha Foxtrot. That link will bring you to the main page of the framework and all its content. When you go there, you will notice there's a lot of content. From a cybersecurity architect perspective, we are most interested in the security areas of the framework, but we do need to have a general understanding of the rest. So my tip is to read and understand as much as you can on the Cloud Adoption Framework and regularly go back to it. It has stabilized over the years, but it will be kept up to date. You should keep up to date also. From a high level, we can break it down to a couple of elements. These are called methodologies. The Cloud Adoption Framework consists of 9 main activities called methodologies. Each methodology is a process or stage that an organization will need to navigate through to adopt to the cloud. Here we have an overview of those 9 methodologies: strategy, plan, ready, migrate, innovate, manage, govern, organize, and secure. And these will be put into context, into stages or a life cycle, if you will. Here we see the life cycle. It is not so much that an activity is limited to a certain time. It is more where the start is and where the emphasis is at. As you notice, the bottom 3 are more continuous. We need to do these all the time, everywhere, in every stage. And as you can see, secure is one of the continuous elements. And that's good for us, isn't it? The security aspects, the security-specific parts of the Cloud Adoption Framework can be located easily, again, by using a short link. You'll see that on the graphic, aka.ms/CAF Secure. The secure methodology provides a vision of the complete end state to guide improvements of your security program over time. The Cloud Adoption Framework provides security guidance for this security journey by providing clarity on the processes, best practices, models, and experiences. This guidance is based on lessons learned and real-world experiences of real customers, the Microsoft security journey, and work with organizations like NIST, the Open Group, and others. It is all connected and it is all brought together in the Cloud Adoption Framework. And of course that includes the thinking with a zero trust mindset also. Let's look at the alignment with business and security disciplines in a bit more detail. On the business side, things are shifting. There's a digital transformation, threat landscape, platform changes, and a shift in expectations, for example, to be more agile. But also, there's a shortage of staff, a growing amount of assets and exposure with an increased amount of threats that put pressure on the business. Our cloud adoption should focus heavily on business alignment in 3 categories. The first is risk insights. Align and integrate security insights and risk signals and sources to the business initiatives. Ensure repeatable processes, educate all teams on the application of those insights and hold teams accountable for improvements. The second is security integration. Integrate security knowledge, skills, and insights deeper into daily operations of the business and an IT environment via repeatable processes and deep partnerships at all levels of the organization. The third would be operational resilience. Focus on ensuring the organization is resilient by being able to continue operations during an attack, even if it's at a degraded state, and that the organization rapidly bounces back to full operations. And then we have specific security disciplines which we need to have or that we need to mature. This transformation will affect each security discipline differently. While each of these disciplines is extremely important and requires investment, these are ordered roughly by the ones that have the most immediate opportunities for quick wins as you adopt to cloud. Access controls. Application of network and identity create access boundaries and segmentation to reduce the frequency and reach of any security breach. Security operations. Monitor IT operations to detect, respond, and recover from breach. Use data to continuously reduce risk of breach. Asset protection. Maximize protection of all assets, infrastructure, devices, data, applications, networks, and identities to minimize the risk to the overall environment. Security governance. Delegated decisions accelerate innovation and introduce new risks. Monitor decisions, configurations, and use data to govern decisions made across the environment and within all workloads across the whole portfolio. Innovation security. As an organization adopts DevOps processes and models to increase the pace of innovation, security must become an integral part of DevSecOps processes and integrate security expertise and resources directly into this high-speed cycle. This involves shifting some decision-making from centralized teams to empower workload-focused teams. All this needs to be brought under responsibility and accountability. We will need to have security functions and security rules. I've included a short link to easily find the content on functions and roles in the Cloud Adoption Framework, which is what we see here, aka.ms/security rules. The diagram depicts specific organizational functions within security. The functions depicted represent an ideal view of a complete enterprise security team. Security teams with limited resources may not have formal responsibilities defined around all these functions. Each function should be performed by one or more people, and each person could perform one or more functions depending on factors such as culture, budget, and available resources. The task for us is to verify if these functions and responsibilities exist and are owned within an organization. And here we find specific roles and responsibilities you will encounter throughout Microsoft documentation, including the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, Rapid Modernization Plans or RAMPs to secure privileges, privileged access, and in our security best practices around Azure. So we can understand the roles needed, but there's also guidance on what is expected of these roles. Again, a good way to start your efforts. Verification of tasks. One of our tasks as a cybersecurity architect is to assess the current situation. In another video, I explained about assessments that you can leverage from Microsoft Learn. And assessments help assess, go, and do. And for assessing the alignment with the Cloud Adoption Framework, there are 2 that I'd like to highlight. One way to assess Cloud Adoption Framework is to do a Cloud Adoption Security Review, or CASR. It will help you to identify opportunities for critical security optimizations to better align to the security methodology, or CAF, and improve your Azure landing zone security. We've not talked about landing zones, but we will in a moment. It is based on questions, and at the end of all the assessment questions, you will receive actionable recommendations to incrementally improve your security. Actionable means that you can use those recommendations and put them into your Azure DevOps or GitHub project and track the implementation progress through standard project management processes and tasks. You can create multiple versions, like milestones, of the assessment and track your progress over time, all on the way to improvement. And here we find an example of the CAF landing page on Microsoft Learn. It's for you to go and inspect that. In the same area on Microsoft Learn, we can also find another CAF-related assessment like this one I regularly use myself to validate my knowledge or to leverage in a workshop. To go through all the questions will take too much time here, but we can go and have a brief look. And I challenge you to go and inspect it on your own after this video. Here we see an example of a question set. Each of them will have more detail. It really gets you thinking, right? And here's an example of a CASR that I did before. An example outcome, you will have a list of recommendations to go and do, and then you can run the assessment again and see that you've improved your score. A couple of moments ago in the video, I mentioned landing zones and that we would get to them, and here they are. What are landing zones? Well, I asked AI, Copilot, what it thinks about it. Technology like Copilot will help us to get to answers quickly, so leverage that for your own benefit. From a security perspective, AI will make a difference. It will speed up an analysis we can do of a tremendous amount of data, but let's talk for now about landing zones. Essentially, it's a lessons learned best practices based template to get an environment up and running, considering everything in the framework that is there from the Cloud Adoption Framework perspective, which includes, of course, principles on security and zero trust in general. Right? Remember, zero trust is never far away, and it's an important fundamental concept. Informational landing zones can be found in the Cloud Adoption Framework as part of the Ready pillar. It is considered as part of the readying an environment to get started with the deployment. For example, greenfield for migration. But as mentioned, it has all the security elements represented in it. Have cryptographic keys? Sure you have. Deploy a key vault. Concentrate your network traffic for inspection? Sure. Use a connectivity hub, etc., etc. So for easy reference, I've listed a short link again that will guide you to the page directly. We will need that in a moment to look at an example. On the grand scheme of things, we can make a simple division in two types of landing zones. One that is needed from a central organization perspective, and one that's used for a workload, an application, like a business unit or something. I've listed here the official terminology of it. We have a platform landing zone, subscriptions deployed to provide centralized services, often operated by one or several central teams split by function, for example, networking, identity, and those will be used by various workloads and applications. Application landing zones, one or more subscriptions deployed as an environment for an application or workload. Landing zone. We see an example of the landing zone concept, and it's a big picture for a little screen. It's better to go to the page, and there I can explain what you will need to go and have a look at. On the page, you can download the slide yourself, the graphic, and then you can inspect it more closely, like I'm doing here. Here we have an enlargement of part of a landing zone. It's about governance. It has all the elements listed that should be present or that should be part of a governance design. We can literally use this graphic to get started, do a comparison with. Let's do one more. Azure hierarchy. Here another enlargement, this time to help design or check the governance and hierarchy in Azure. The tenant group root group is a given in Azure, and it's recommended to create your own company hierarchy. Here we can see a common practice-based example. And make sure you include some freedom to be able to undelete by decommissioning the subscription for some time before deleting it. A delete is irreversible. And allow room for testing new capabilities. Give people a playground, a sandbox, where some basic rules apply, but where you are not too restricted in what they can do. More lenient Azure policies, for example. And for us, it's an ideal opportunity to learn early about new developments, and that will help to standardize and transition to production more smoothly. And before I forget, sandboxes, they should be time limited. And you don't want them to become production. They are only there to test and prepare towards a production environment. Let's recap what we looked at in this video. We looked at the Cloud Adoption Framework and specifically the secure area and landing zone concept. Now go out and try an assessment, read on the Cloud Adoption Framework, and look at the landing zone concept. Plenty of work, and there will always be more. Here again are some links that I was sharing in the video that you can use for further inspection. Thank you for watching the video, and please come back for more videos in the series. See you next time. Until then, stay safe.